Welcome to On the Market by Bigger Pockets, brought to you by Fundrise. We are exploring the hottest markets in the United States for real estate, and this time we are in sunny Los Angeles, California, my birthplace and one of the most incredible places for real estate. Let's check it out. So we've all been hearing about Californians leaving the state and heading to all these different markets, bringing bags of cash to buy real estate, which has been driving up a lot of the demand in other markets. So you would think that would have a negative impact on the real estate here in California, but it hasn't. In fact, year over year, they've appreciated 15 to 20% in different markets, and rent has gone up an additional 15% as well. Where is all this demand coming from? The jobs here are insane. The main industries are film, agriculture, tech, healthcare and construction, and there's plenty of opportunity for people if they want to live and work in Los Angeles. But where will you live? That's one of the biggest questions, because LA is experiencing a housing crisis. And you will see that if you just drive down the streets. There's a homeless situation here like none other that I've seen in the United States. It makes sense because it is so expensive to live here. The average home price is $928,000. Think of that, $928,000. In fact, the average rent here is $2,800 a month. That is substantially more than anywhere else in the country that I've seen. But it's pretty easy to understand why. This city is insanely beautiful. There's so much to do, from arts, culture, food, and all of the entertainment that you can have here in LA. It makes sense why people want to live here. Now, what I want to do is have a conversation with a local realtor to ask her opinion on what makes this market so interesting and also so compelling for people to want to invest and live here. We're here with a very good friend of mine, Laci Buller in Los Angeles, talking about her experiences as a residential real estate agent. Laci, good to see you again.
So good to see you.
I'm loving being out here with you.
I know, it's been too long.
So Laci and I go back. She is one of my favorite realtors out here, and you're actually very busy. It's a hard thing to break into real estate here in LA, and you've done an amazing job. Tell me about your experience over the last 2 years, because things have definitely shifted and exploded over here. I've been reading all the mayhem when it comes to housing in Los Angeles.
I mean, it's beautiful outside.
Yes,
it's
you can't beat the weather.
Yeah,
right?
like within 10 miles of here, you're looking at like destinations that people travel from all over the world to come and see.
Right.
And so like, why do people want to be here? You know, there's that, but also there's still a lot of opportunity in California too.
Right.
And so in the last couple of years, I think it's just like what most people have experienced. The home has become so much more important because it's not just where you lay your head and eat. Now it's also your office. It was our school. It was our daycare. You know what I mean? It was all of the things that we needed it to be during the pandemic.
Right.
And so, and two, it accelerated that trend of being able to work remotely. Mm-hmm. And so people don't have to live so close to where they work to pay the bills.
For the average person, just even paying rent in LA is a feat.
Yeah.
Right? So from the investment standpoint, how are investors making plays in LA? Because if you look at interest rates coupled with just how high the prices are, nothing cash flows.
Yeah.
So what are you seeing as the primary modality for people to make money here in real estate?
You know, I'll speak to the residential part of the market, which is what I focus on. I know that there's a lot of people that are getting into like industrial and stuff, but as far as residential, you know, a lot of people can go from 1 unit to 2 units with ADUs now.
Right.
And there's also new bills that have been introduced, like SB 9 and SB 10, which are still really new, but LA is figuring out how to also creatively increase the inventory. But you know, I think a lot of people just look at the historical growth in LA in home prices. So it's like, if you hold on long enough, you accumulate wealth, more so than any place else in the country.
Are you seeing that most people are scraping and building new, or is there still a lot of opportunity to fix and flip out here?
So you have both. You have investors that are still doing just fix and flips, and then you have, you know, your developers that they just look at it like, hey, it's way easier just to scrape this and start over. You have a healthy combination of both. I think that the buyer prefers to have something turnkey, like your traditional buyer, and so that's what creates the opportunity for investors.
Interesting, because I find Los Angeles to be a very different beast when it comes to real estate, because you've got little every little corner of LA.
Cross the street,
you cross the street and you're in another submarket, you know, And so you can really niche yourself into specific types of renovations or specific types of jobs because of that, right?
Yes.
And so, if you're renovating in East LA, it's going to be a lot different in West LA, and from the hills all the way to the water over here, you've got completely different rules, you've got completely different styles, the different buyer tastes, and so it's very interesting to me just like how much the world can change in one city. Is there anywhere in LA that cash flows?
I think sometimes you just have to create that opportunity.
Like renting out room by room, or doing it a little bit more hands-on, or trying to create more opportunity from one property, or would you say that there's like different approaches or different strategies?
Yeah, I think that first off, you still have like the Burr method, right?
Yep.
Where you're just, renovating a property and you're just going to raise your rents that way. But I also think the ADU play is super, prevalent, especially now, like I said, since they just pass out. Not really, but it's easier to get permits on ADUs, and you can increase cash flow that way.
Right.
So now you go from 1 units to units.
Right.
I think for homeowners, SB9 will be really interesting to see how that unfolds. But there's a few different ways. I think that, and to answer your question about are there deals out there, there's always deals out there.
I agree.
Yeah, you just have to be willing to, be patient and, be prepared. When the right opportunity comes up, you're ready to go.
I've noticed another thing about LA County and the short-term rental space. Things have absolutely been turned on their heads for anyone that's wanting to do short-term rentals out here. They just don't.
Yeah,
right?
just don't.
They do sting operations in LA County to catch people doing short-term rentals when they're not supposed to be, or unlicensed short-term rentals. How do you think that evolved, and what do you think the reasons are for that?
Look, we have a shortage of housing.
Right.
We need the housing for people to live in long-term.
Right.
And so when you take a huge segment of that housing away by doing short-term rentals, well, it's great for the homeowners, and even for the tourists, it's not great for our city. And so that's kind of how they came to it. I know a lot of people that they ended up selling their property as soon as the Airbnb laws came into effect, because it just didn't make sense for them anymore. But listen, if you've got a property like this, or somewhere that you can demand a really high price for 4 months out of the year, and you can there are people that will come and they will stay here for 2, 3, 4 months and pay a premium because they want to be here. Can you offset your mortgage from doing that? Yeah, you could probably pay for your mortgage for an entire year just off of those 4 months of somebody coming and using the property. So there is still that opportunity. It's not going to be the ease that you find in other areas, where
Makes
it's just
sense.
like, no problem, don't think about it, create a system, and rinse and repeat.
So you're an investor as well, right?
Yeah.
Where are you investing?
Wherever there's a good deal.
Wherever, so you'll go anywhere, really?
Well, no, look, I like to be able to drive to wherever my properties are, right?
Makes sense.
And so, but also, it's a really loaded question because I'm also not exclusive to real estate. I have friends that live all over the country that also invest, and so I have no problem also, deploying capital to them.
Right, so you'll participate in other markets as well. You're not exclusively in LA with your investments.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Any advice to the Bigger Pockets audience on how they could approach Los Angeles as an investment opportunity?
I think it's, like I said, it's really important to work with local experts, people that really know the neighborhoods, because they are so different, from one sort of niche market to the next. And then also, I think it's really important for the person that you're working with to understand how long that play is going to be. Like, is it a short-term play? Is it a long-term play? That's going to make all the difference in the world. If they're not looking to work with somebody and they're just wanting to be an investor and go and find wholesale deals, I still think that you need to do a tremendous amount of research to know if you get this property at X, like what does Y and Z look like?
So Laci, if somebody was out there and getting serious about their lead generation and they were pounding the pavement, knocking on doors, getting great opportunities under contract, and they wanted to work with you, how could we reach you?
So first, I will also say once again that I really focus on the west side.
Okay. So don't bring her a deal in Long Beach, is what you're saying.
I have people I can refer you to, but that's not where I'm gonna have buyers usually. But but I have other people that might. So I guess maybe just bring it to me and I'll see where it needs to go. But anyway, you can catch me at Laci Buller or at Laci Buller Group. My phone number is 310-301-2330 or Laci at LaciBullerGroup.com.
I've known you for a long time, and truly one of my like favorite people here when I'm in LA to hang out with. And not only are you a real estate expert, but like really one of the most fun people to work with. So guys, reach out to Laci, do some business with her, but bring real opportunities because you get one shot. You get one shot to work with a killer like her. Any other advice that you've got for the audience?
Jamil is the real deal. Everything he tells you is like gold. I'm serious. He's a resource for me. I'm so grateful to have connected with you.
You're the best.
Yeah, no, I thank you for this. No, man, just continue following great content, and you know, I think that's it. Can't think of anything else.
Awesome.
You put me on the spot again.
Laci, such a pleasure as always to
Likewise.
hang out with you.
Yeah.
And let's go take this dog for a walk.
Sure.
We're gonna go get some wings. We are at the Whaler here in Marina del Rey, about to have their famous chicken wings. Let's see how they be. LA is one of the best places for real estate. You can't lose money here. Your house will always appreciate. Great investment opportunities here, but the food, man, the food. If you're not gonna come out and buy a house in LA, just come and eat the damn wings. From the fix and flip. So dumb. Hi, Post. Sorry.
How now, brown cow?
We're just a little dum-dums over here.